and gentlemen, welcome to Fashion Avenue News TV, where only the best will do. I'm your host, Sophia Davis, and tonight we have an absolutely exciting show for you. But before we get into our show, we have to run over and say hello to our sponsors. We'll be right back in just a moment. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back on Fashion Avenue News, and I have the amazing power couple with me, the executive producers of Atlantic City Fashion Week. Remember, Best Fashion Week show. They are absolutely fabulous, and I want to thank you both for taking time out of your schedule because we know that they are busy. They got shows and shows. So they're busy. They don't have a lot of time. So we're going to get right into it. Welcome to the show, both of you.
Thank you for having
Hello.
us.
Yes, we're excited to be here.
Well, thank you very much for your time. So let's start at the beginning. Now, let's talk about how you got interested in doing a fashion week show or just a fashion show in general because I know you used to do something called the Pink Show. I
Right.
attended that in Jersey quite a few times, but
Right.
Mhm.
I didn't know if that was like your first, area of fashion
Right.
or not.
Yeah, we actually started out doing we were sort of like fashion bloggers, and we started out as a print publication called Fashion Style Magazine, and we took our lumps early. We found out very early how hard it was to do a fashion magazine and to get it out. It seemed so easy in the beginning, but we really took our lumps on it. And while we were out, I was covering a story in New York. It was the first time I had ever gone to Bryant Park to a New York Fashion Week. And when I got there, I saw the culture, I saw the excitement, I saw everything. And Gina wasn't on that assignment with me. But when I came back, I said, listen, we got to figure out how to bring this back to New Jersey. I don't know how. We've never done it before, but we've got to somehow figure out how we can do it back in New Jersey. So we started out, we kind of dipped our toes in the water with the Pink Fashion Show. And the Pink Fashion Show, we called it the Pink Show because it was a fundraiser show. We were raising money for breast cancer and breast cancer awareness. So all of the proceeds that we took in for the show went to breast cancer charities, and we loved it. It was a very small show, but I said if I could figure out how to turn this thing around and make it a full-fledged fashion week and have something in New Jersey, I think we'll be on to something. So we kind of networked with the right people and got in touch with the right people, and that was the birth of Atlantic City Fashion Week.
That is fabulous. Now, why did you move it to Atlantic City? Was it because it was more like excitement there than where you were? Was that it? Like more
That
things to do?
Exactly it. I mean, we
We're running somewhere big, though.
my dream was always this is going to be a big show, even before I knew better. And I said, well, I want it in a city that has some kind of national or worldwide appeal. I said, so we narrowed it down. It was Newark, Camden, and Atlantic City.
Yeah.
And I said, well, Newark has a lot of stuff going on there, so we're going to leave Newark alone. Camden didn't really have a whole lot of anything. So to us, Atlantic City was an obvious choice. Everybody was there. The casinos were up and booming, and hotels, and it just drew us to the lights. We were mesmerized by the lights and the bells and the whistles. So we ended up in Atlantic City, and of course, being Jersey folks, it was a perfect match for us.
Well, I love it. I love the fact that you are in Atlantic City, because the beauty of being there is that people have a lot to do. I mean, I come and it's so much to do. I mean, we're busy with the show, but you can go eat lunch, you can network with people. I use it as a network to talk to designers I don't get to see often, because you get people far away. So, I don't see them. So now we're all in one place, and I'm like, ooh, let's go have lunch. So I love it. I love it. It's fabulous. Now, you've added a show to your roster, which I love, which is in July. I cannot tell you how happy I am about this show. Honey, oh my God. I can't wait, because you got the boardwalk, you got the heat, you got, here's the smart thing. People can utilize this as an entire vacation.
Yes.
Come on Thursday. You don't have to go to every show. You don't want to go to every show, I understand. Come on Thursday. Enjoy the casinos, walk around. They have the Hard Rock cafes and all kinds of places. You can go and look at different things. Then you can see the Friday show. You got all day Friday to enjoy the beach, network with people. If you're a fashion person or you want to do interviews with your press, then Saturday in the daytime, if you're not in the show, you can still go out, enjoy the beach, different things. It is so much to do, and I am just like so proud and so happy that you guys have done this. So talk about adding that show to the roster.
Well, that show, you know what it was, Lamont and I, and we talk to the team all the time. After the show, we have our recap and we talk to everyone, and they're like, oh my God, now we have to wait all the way to September for the next show. We're still on the high from February. And I'm like, well, we're Atlantic City Fashion Week. We don't do everything like everybody else. We think outside the box. Why do we have to have it just in February and September when the fashion weeks are? Just because it started that way don't mean we have to do it that way. Let's add another show and do it in July during the summer. Nobody does that. Why can't we do it? And that's how and Lamont was like, yeah, let's do differently. No other production is doing it 3 times a year. We're going to make a new fashion week in July.
And I think that's amazing, because you see, with this pandemic, people are pivoting. As you know, a lot of top brands have changed when they do things. There's a lot of people that didn't even do the couture when it was couture.
Right.
People are doing things differently. And I think that that's amazing, because it's thinking outside of the box. And it's also something that everyone can enjoy. Kids are not in school. So that's a thing. If people want to bring their children, maybe they don't have a babysitter for the weekend. So they have to bring their kids. So this is amazing. I love that. Now, I know that people that come to your show, if you sit in the front row, you buy a front row VIP seat, you get a lot of perks and different things like that. Discounts, gift bags, you have a shopping area where people can buy things. But you also have some amazing vendors. Every single time I go to your show, I buy something from the vendors. I try to buy from every vendor if they have something, that is for me. And of course, if I have the time, because if I'm in the show, it's kind of hard, but I get to those vendors because I want to support them. It's very important that, they're out there. It's a business, so I buy. Talk about how someone can become a vendor, because I know you have the vendors, and then you have something, I think it's new, like, I don't know if it's called the boutique or something where you had, where people can put stuff in or something. I'm not sure of it, so tell me about it.
Well, getting a vendor table is relatively easy. Go to our website, AtlanticCityFashionWeek.com, and there's a little link there for vendor table registration. And for the whole weekend, the vendor table is $250. That's for all 3 days. And we limit it to One particular, like for example, if we get a lot of requests from paparazzi, people who want to sell jewelry at the table. So we're only allowed to take one paparazzi or one Avon and so on and so forth. But even with that limit, quite often we go up to 20, 30 tables. So, they sell out very quickly. We really try to limit the number on vendor tables, but they sell out very quickly. But we have a variety. People contact us all the time and say, have you ever thought about having this at your show? And we always try to think out the box, so we don't say no to anybody. Somebody sold alcohol-infused cupcakes one time at our show and sold out immediately. So I never know. People are way smarter than me haven't figured this thing out. So if you could sell it, we'll have it at our show. And the boutique we did this past season, we tried something new with one of our staff people who always does promotional gear for us. And she said, I want to set up a boutique inside inside the venue. Is that possible? We said anything is possible.
Yes.
So she set up there and we were selling a lot of Atlantic City Fashion Week t-shirts and sweatshirts and hoodies and merchandise. So, as far as vending and things like that, we're open to anything. We have the space, we like to utilize it and give it as many opportunities to people as possible.
And that's amazing because they're small businesses, some people, and your show is like you have a captive audience. It's always a sold out show. So, I mean, this is a great place for vendors. So, I mean, people, if you're out there and you want to, go to a great show where you're going to have, people are going to buy, check out Atlantic City Fashion Week and become a vendor. I'm Sophia Davis. We're going to run over to our sponsors and we'll be right back in just a moment. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back on Fashion Avenue News. And I am talking with that power couple from Atlantic City Fashion Week, Gina and Lamont. And I'm so happy to have them today. They've taken some time to be with me. So we're jumping right into our questions. Now, you did a show at the height of the pandemic. I was so proud of you too. I felt like a little, mother. Like, how the mother sees the child graduate from high school or something. And that's how I felt. I was so proud of you guys. I was like bursting inside, but I had to be on time for the designer call and all that, so I couldn't say anything. And I know you're busy at that time, so I couldn't even talk.
Right.
I was very proud. I want you to talk a little bit about what you guys did in that pandemic, and you pulled it off with a sold out show.
Yes, we did. We spoke with the CDC. We asked them what kind of regulations that we had to go by. And we made sure all the staff took a test.
Yeah, they had to be COVID certified.
Right. We all got COVID certified. We made sure that we had sanitation stations set up. Everybody got their temperature checked. Everyone that came into the venue, the audience, the staff, the models, designers, everyone got checked with their temperature. We also made sure we had the distancing with the chairs. Everyone in the audience had to wear a mask at all times. So we had security, make sure they're walking through, make sure everybody was wearing masks. Back of house, models and designers had to wear masks until the models came onto the runway. And we really made sure that we reached out to designers and vendors and asked them, like, listen, this is what we're doing for the show. Because a lot of designers ask us, well, what are you doing, as far as prevention to make sure that we all stay safe during this time? And we just explained to them, what we just said. And we got a ton of designers that wanted to participate. I mean, I think because designers are artists, they're always constantly making new designs and creating art. So for them to wait and have to say, well, it might be a year from now before people can see my designs or my creations, I think that's hard for them to do. So we just wanted to provide that platform and say, listen, we're going to make it work, because aside from us, our staff is always like, guys, we got to do another show. We got to do another show. And they're always on board no matter what we ask. We have the best team.
Yeah.
We have the best staff, the best directors, because they always say, okay, we're going to do this. We're going to do it right. We're going to do it 100%. And they work with us. Like they don't like to tell us no, like we're their parents. You're our parent, but they're like our kids. And they're like, whatever you want to do, mom and dad, let's do it. But we're going to do it, and we're going to do it the best of our ability. And we're going to make sure it's a success. And that's what happened. We really made sure it was a success, and we were able to do it in September and this past February.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was a success, and I was extremely proud because when I arrived, I mean, they were taking the temperatures. They had the hand sanitizers. They made you also, which I felt was the best part of it, write down your email, your name, and everything. So if there was any kind of COVID, they could trace you to let you know, look, this is what happened. And I felt like you cared about the people. That's what touched me. I felt like you actually cared. These are people that don't just want your money. They care about you. Are you serious? And I was shocked, but I loved it. And I know that's how you guys are. And talking about designers and not waiting to show their creativity, Miss Gina showed a line last season, okay, with her little creative self. Talk about your line, because I loved it. I was like, look at her go. I was just so proud of you.
Thank you.
Did a line.
I wanted to just throw my little creative hat into the ring.
Fabulous.
Because what some of you may know, we did the pop-up shops when COVID first started, and you weren't allowed to go anywhere. And we still had designers that wanted to have a platform. So, they hit us up, and I was like, well, what can we do? And I said, why don't we do a pop-up shop? Lamont and I decided, okay, we have the space. Let's set it up like a studio, and let's do a pop-up shop. And while I was showing everybody else's designs, I'm like, I could do that. I think I would be good. So it made me want to create some merchandise for Atlantic City Fashion Week. And just, once I started going, I just kept going. And it's funny because I did the one collection, and then people were like, you going to do another one? And I'm like, I don't know.
Do another one. You got to do it.
So
fabulous. It was really fabulous, and I felt that it was very classy, a nice classy look to it. I think you had some black and white in there. I mean, I loved it. I really thought it. I mean, I saw a little bit of it, and I just thought it was amazing. Now, for designers that are interested in being part of the show, talk a little bit about what that criteria is, because I know you don't take everybody. I know that.
It's funny because some people do think we will take anybody, and they're terribly disappointed when they get on the phone with us or when they start DMing us back and forth.
Right.
And essentially we have three nights. We have a Thursday night, which is we call it our student night, but it's more of an emerging designer night. If you're new to the industry and you're really scared to jump out there, Thursday night's a good night for you to show. Friday night is more like our ready to wear and boutique designers. And then Saturday, of course, is couture and avant-garde and things of that nature. But we take pride in the designers that we put on our runway. I can't tell you how often we're on the phone with a designer and they say, well, I'm going to wait because I'm going to do New York. And we're like, okay, that's cool. We know we'll talk to you in a year. So, you go do New York and we'll talk to you later. Because, I've said this many times in interviews when people say, what's the difference between Atlantic City Fashion Week and New York Fashion Week? And the simple answer is geography. We're just 90 miles south of New York. That is the only true difference, because we have state-of-the-art lighting, staging, everything is set up. Right. And truthfully, we are a lot, if you're looking at size-wise, we're a lot larger than some of the productions in New York.
Yes.
So I think people are pleasantly surprised when they come and do Atlantic City Fashion Week, because you have an audience of 500-600 people, and you see the lights and you see everything. It's like, oh, okay, this is a big deal. This is a big deal. And And because of that, we are selective with a lot of designers. You know, we want to show a collection that is truly going to represent the 19 seasons that we've put into Atlantic City Fashion Week, and that shows on the runway.
And you'd be surprised. Some of our designers even say like, a couple of people are interested and I talked to them, but I don't think they're ready for ACFW yet. I think they need to start with a smaller show. And I'm like, okay.
No,
So
but that's
designers.
That's
We're not ready. We can't. We have to push some designers out of the nest. You know, it's like, you're ready. Let's go. Oh, we're not. You're ready. You're ready.
Exactly. And you know, I think that's amazing that you don't just take anyone. It shows in the quality of the show on the runway. Like, you can look back at the videos on the runway. You see really good collections. I mean, you actually see collections. So that's another thing that I think is very important, is because you don't just take anything just because someone says, oh, I'm a designer, I made this, you know, and they just kind of throw something together.
Right.
You're literally looking at the collection to make sure it is that a collection. So I think that's really good. Now, I know you said you do student designers, you know, I think Thursday night. Is that the same criteria as far as auditioning for that particular segment for a student designer? Is it different from if someone's like experienced?
Yes, it is. Because I feel like with the students, we have to give them a platform, provide a platform to give them that total experience of how it would be to show their collection on a true runway. And when Lamont and I decided to do this at the beginning, not only did we want to give back to the students, we wanted to make them have the whole entire experience that the designers on Friday and Saturday have. So they come in, same call time, early in the morning. They get the fit-ins. They get to have the models get their hair and makeup done, you know, with a great style like Friday and Saturday. And they get to see how it all comes together. So they're not just showing up, they're like, okay, here's the clothes models, just put it on an hour before the show. No, they're there for the entire day. So they really get to take in that whole experience of what it would be like to do a fashion show. And we love that, because then they're like so excited and they're like, okay, this is what it's about. All right, next season when I come back, I know what my collection should look like. And we love that we can do that for them, to just give them that little push and say, here, there's your motivation. Keep going, keep going, keep going. And they're allowed to come back as long as they're a student.
I love it, because you do a wonderful job with that, as well as doing a wonderful job with model auditions. Now let's talk about that, because one of the things that is my favorite thing about Atlantic City, first of all, there's a lot of favorites, but one of my favorite things is the way you handle the models backstage. I've been backstage. So I love the way the backstage, I love it. I mean, you have that list on the wall, and there's always someone there to help you. I have never walked over there and had to wait. And first of all, I usually don't have to go over because it's being said. But if I ever have to go over there, I never have to wait. It's always someone there to help you. And now you don't find that in a lot of shows. You don't find help.
Okay.
If you want to, if your model is not coming, or somebody you have on your list, you know, you don't find the help there because people are so busy watching the show, they're not doing their job.
Right.
So again, you have a great team. But let's talk a little bit about the auditions for the models, and also say something about auditions for kids.
Well, it's definitely it's sort of two-part. First of all, with the kids, you know, when we first started seeing children in fashion shows, a lot of the kids, especially in the New York shows, set the bar very high. You know, you have to have a very adult walk for a lot of the New York shows. And Gina is a former pre-K teacher, so you know she should be banned from the auditions. She can't say no to any kids. If it was up to Gina, we'd have 10,000 kids in the show. So, but the one thing that she brought to me was, she said, you know, I want to do something a little different. I want kids to just be kids. I want them to have an amazing time. If they get down the runway and they walk a certain way, great. If they don't, who cares? I still want them to have a good time. So we get kids that skip down the runway. We get kids that run down, you know, but you could see the enjoyment in their face. So our criteria for the kids is we want energy. Yeah. You know, you don't have to be a certain height. You don't have to have a certain look.
Right.
It's easy to get clothes to for them. We just want them to have that energy when they hit the runway. And for us, we must have 400 or 500 kids show up for our auditions, and we have like maybe 50 spots. Gina stretches that sometimes a little higher, but we try to really monitor that. So to be a kid model in our show, you just have to have energy.
Right.
Now, adult, a little bit stricter, a little bit tougher. We have 3 judges usually, and we all look for different things. Some of us are more technical. Some of us look for the walk, because it's their job to sell the collection, and we want that energy. We want people to in our audience to look and say, "Oh my God, this model is beautiful.
Right.
She's amazing. The collection is amazing." Like, we want to feel that energy as soon as she turns the corner. So we do have a height and a size requirement, but all of that is really secondary to that energy that she gives off when she comes around. I mean, we have, when we put models in your collection, we want them to talk to you and get that feedback.
Right.
What are you looking for?
Right.
What we really want them to
concept?
talk to the designers. And so, when they have that long train and they have a tiara, or they have when they turn that corner, we want the audience to ooh and ah. I'm a fan, and I want other people who are fans to really have that fan experience. So,
Yeah.
and I think our models pull it off. I really do.
Oh, they do. They pull it off. And I tell you, as one of the designers that has been in your show a few seasons, I want to tell you, I have been happy with every single model you've given me. I have never had a
Thank
complaint
you.
about any model
Thank
at
you.
all. And, I do prefer tall girls, but even
Right.
with me, a short girl,
Right.
I will work with a short girl, because
course, of
sometimes I have the
course.
shorter dresses,
Right.
so they can wear a shorter dress if it's not like a long gown. But
Right.
I have never had a complaint. You guys do a great job. And I like that because you send the models to the designers in advance. And let me tell you the beauty of that. If a person's a real designer, if they're
Right.
really a designer, you
Okay.
can fit a model from a comp card. Because
Okay.
when you send those pictures to me,
Yes.
I fit the models right there. That's why if you ever say to me, "Oh, can you tell me what dress this one is wearing?" You get it in like 5 or 10 minutes.
Wow.
Because I fit the model from the comp card, and I find that and it's
Right.
never been a thing where they couldn't fit anything.
Right.
It's always been so. You guys, I just want to compliment you again that you do a fabulous job on those models. I tell you, really, really fabulous.
But
Ladies and
we actually added a new category this year called the tweens, and they're the young ladies that are bigger than a size 12, because that's our cutoff for kids, but they're still not tall enough to walk with the adult collection. So we have 20 young ladies that's walking with our tweens collection. That's going to be a new category for us, ACFW.
I love it. You always give people opportunities. I love it. Ladies and gentlemen, we're talking with the power couple, Lamont and Gina Bowling, executive producers of Atlantic City Fashion Week. We're going to speak to our sponsors, and we'll be right back in just a moment. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back on Fashion Avenue News. Power couple, they do amazing things. Let's talk more about Atlantic City Fashion Week. The thing I like is people stay in their lane. If someone is for press, you got to see John. If someone is for this, you got to see that person. If it's not, like Lamont will get up there and tell you, don't come to me. That's Gina's department. You know I like that because that person, when you go to them, they have the answer you are looking for.
Right.
If you are going to say Lamont for something that you handle, he may not have the answer directly, or you don't want him to tell the person something that may not be agreeable to you because it might be something else that they should do.
Right.
So talk about that professional team, beauty team, fabulous beauty team. Now, even when I wasn't in the show, if you look back on my blog, and I said, look, I was sitting in the front row. I was not way in the back. I saw the faces. That makeup is flawless. The hair is tight. I'm like, this is fabulous because I was there. Talk about that. Your team, your beauty team, your media team, and then you have just volunteers and other help.
Right. We do have directors to cover every asset of the show. When we first started doing Atlantic City Fashion Week, Lamont and I wore every hat. So we know the jobs very well, which made it easier for us to place people in those different positions. Sharita, makeup director, great job every season. Tina is in charge of the hair. John, like you said, is in charge of press and media. Cherie is the vendors queen. She's dealing with the vendors. She's talking to them the whole entire time, helping them out. Our son, Manny, is in the front. He's the front desk manager. He has the best disposition. Everybody is always pleased with Manny because Manny is so patient and kind, and he will find a solution. He never comes to us. And it's funny because a couple of weeks after the show, he might tell us something happened. He said, but Mom and Dad, I handled it. And we like, perfect. That's why you have that position. I'm trying to think who else. Devin is new. He's our marketing manager.
He's excellent.
Yes, Devin. Am I forgetting anybody? Karen.
Yes, Karen and Tony.
Karen and Tony.
They are our event managers. They I hate to say headaches, but any headaches, the day of the show, any fires that need to be put out, Karen and Tony are on top of it, and they handle it.
Yes, because we're busy running around, and a lot of times someone might have a question or a complaint, and it's up to them to go and deal with it, because not only do I deal with the designers, I'm back a house manager. So, we already have so much on our plate. We really needed somebody in that space to really handle those different areas. But all of our team is so great and so strong. And most of them have been with us for a number of seasons. Probably over 10 seasons. Yeah. And we tell each of them, Sophia, we want them to take ownership of their department. We hired them because they're the best at what they do. Right. Don't ask me. I don't know. So I don't do hair.
Yeah, I don't do hair. Listen, you would really have something to write about if I did hair and makeup. So I don't do hair. I don't do makeup. We hire the best. And when they come to me and they say, Lamont, I want to do this. My rebut to them is, what do you want to do? Yes. What do you think? You're here for a reason. You are an award-winning stylist. They don't know me, so you do what you think is right.
We put the ball back in their court and hold them accountable for everything. Yeah. Because with Tina and Sharita, they are the ones that pick the styles every season. We have nothing to do with the looks. Nothing to do with the looks. They pick them at one of our meetings before the show. They'll show us the looks, and we're like, okay. But they pick the looks every season. So we have a really strong team. And John, I know John goes through. He gets all the press, goes through their credentials, and make sure everybody's legit. So
tough.
We have a really strong team, but they've been doing it so long now that they know what we expect, what our standards are, and they have their own standards that meet up with ours. So it's not like they're going to come to us with less than. Their expectations are going to be just as high as ours are.
And I just thought of this. they make the final decision on everything. A lot of times, John will get a phone call about press or somebody who wants to get in, and their first response is, "Well, I know Lamont and Gina." And listen, I can appreciate that you know Lamont and Gina, but it's John's department, and if John says no, we got to back him.
Right.
You know, so
Right.
a lot of times people say, "Well, I know Lamont and Gina." Everybody knows Lamont and Gina, apparently.
Yeah.
So
So the staff has gotten to a point now where they say, well, we understand you know Lamont Gina, but this is my department, and this is the answer. Like they don't even call us anymore and say, this person said they know you. No, they already know.
Yeah.
Everybody's gonna use that line.
Yeah.
And
So-
I think that that's important because that way you guys are freed up to do what you need to do.
Yes.
And it
Absolutely.
shows respect to the person in the
Mhm.
position. Because
Exactly.
if they people say, oh, I know Lamont and Gina, and go over that person's head, what are they doing in the position?
Right.
You see what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
So it shows
Absolutely.
respect, and I love that. I mean,
Yeah.
I absolutely love that. Now, I just have two more questions, and then I'm going to let you go. Advertising, you guys are on it, and Best Show Award, Best Beauty Award, Best Media Award. I mean, just awards across the board. But with that advertising, I love it. I had a guy, and I got to tell you this quick story from Africa that follows me on Instagram.
Right.
Saw my stuff and everything, and he was like, "Oh my God, I want to do a show in New York City and America." So I was like, "Great, I know a great show that you can do." He said, "Oh, good. Can you put me in touch?" I told him about the show and everything, and that I do the show, and so you don't have to worry because I'm actually there, so it's not a fake show. Because he's coming from Africa, he doesn't know.
Right.
He's not sure. Like he probably doesn't even know what
Right.
train to take or whatever. So I said,
Right.
"Look, I'm there too." I said, let me put you in touch with, the producers.
Right.
And I sent you guys and CC'd you both, so you both had each other's information. He doesn't have to go through me. He
Right.
can talk directly to you, ask any question, because I truly believe in your show. Else, believe me,
Nice. Thank
I
you
would
so
not
much.
recommend somebody if
Thank
I did not think, you guys are on it with the advertising, the marketing, the hair, the makeup. And I just had a conversation this morning at 10:30 a.m. with designers from the Philippines. And guess what I said? Atlantic
Wow,
City.
that would be amazing.
So I'm
Amazing.
hoping that they have all their paperwork and everything together.
Yes.
This will call me back later on. But
Yes.
I did recommend Atlantic City Fashion Week. And,
Oh my God.
I'm not saying anything bad about any other show,
Right.
but I'm talking from experience. That's what I'm
Right.
talking from.
Yes,
So
and we
if-
appreciate it so much.
Yeah, if I can come to your show and I don't have a complaint, and I'm telling you, my standards are very high. I don't have
Right.
one complaint. I have no. And then, you guys are kind enough to even do a little video on me. Oh my God, I appreciated that so much. So talk a little
Listen.
bit about the advertisement that you guys do for designers. You do great stuff. Plus, we got a couple of covers. You guys got a couple of covers for designers too and models. So that was great.
Well, Mr. Boland is the advertising marketing king. That is truly his belief. He's always thought that it's got to be strong. He's got to be strong in that area for ACFW and all of our shows to be successful. You got to advertise, you got to market it. You got to believe in your own product. So you got to constantly get it out there. So you probably be the best one to talk about, our
Listen,
marketing.
I wish I could take full credit for it. I know initially I was the marketing team, and I was trying to navigate our way through Twitter and Instagram and Facebook, and it could become overwhelming. But as we said earlier, we hired a marketing guy named Devin Parkins, and he has really helped me out with the Instagram and with Facebook and with Twitter. And we really take it. I can't understand why more people don't take advantage of free advertising. I mean, of course we do some page boosts and things like that through social media, but if you really just stay on top of it, you could really take advantage of a lot of the free marketing that's out there. And we have worked hard. We have some group pages. We have Fashion Style Mag. We have Fashion, and a Fashion Week page. And through our groups, Right now we have easily about 250,000 followers on social media, and we are constantly bombarding them with information. And, you know, once that information goes out, we ask that everybody shares it, and it really helps us to get the word out, you know, between that and our email blast. I know there are people who are sick of getting stuff from ACF. but you know, we are constantly sending stuff out, and myself and Devin and his marketing team, they're on top of it. So I know I almost laugh sometimes when people say, I've never heard of Atlantic City Fashion Week. Well, you're traveling in the wrong circles, obviously, because we're out there, we're pushing it. We're pushing it. So,
and it was actually John Staples and Devin Parker's ideas to do the video on you. They wanted to do a piece, and we said we want to do so for couture, and they were like, we got to do Sophia Davis.
Oh yeah, that was an easy choice.
I mean, listen, the seasons that you've done our show, the collections you put on the runway is so mind-blowing. And it's like you're looking forward to the next look, like, oh my God, that was nice. Oh, but look at this one coming around the corner. So they were so excited. They was like, we got to get Sophia Davis. We got to get Sophia Davis. And I'm like, okay, you could ask her, but it wasn't even our idea.
Yeah. John was like, I got it. Don't worry. I got the direct connection to Miss Sophia. So I said, all right, John, listen, I know you got it.
I'm telling you, I absolutely love John. I mean, it's nothing he could ask me that I probably wouldn't do, because he's always been so professional.
Right.
He's always professional with me. He's always nice. You know what I mean? Like some people are, you know, mean and stuff when you go to the show. He's not like that. Plus, when people try to sneak in under my name, John calls me and they do it. They try to sneak in and like say, oh, I'm shooting for Fashion Avenue News.
Yeah.
And in reality, I don't even know the person.
Right.
But they know that it's a very hot magazine. So they use that name and they think John's not going to pour. He's caught people 3 times trying to sneak in on the Fashion Avenue. So he is amazing. And I'm so thankful that he asked for my collection. I can tell you, that made me so happy. I was literally crying outside.
It came out so nice.
A little picture, and I'm like this. I was crying because I was so happy they chose me. I was like, oh my God. And even now I get all teary and stuff because I just love that. I was so thankful to you guys. Now,
no problem.
You guys are absolutely fabulous. You do a fabulous show. Everything is wonderful. What can you say to people that are out there that have an idea? Maybe they want to do a fashion show. Maybe they want to do show a collection. What can you say? What inspiration can we leave with them?
Inspiration, Bully.
I'm the inspiration guy. You know what? I tell people all the time: do your homework. You know, study the craft. Figure out what you can do to make it work. And people ask all the time, you know what? I want to do a fashion week. What do I need? And I'm truthful with them. I said, you either need a lot of money or you need a lot of time. And when we went into this, we didn't have a lot of money. So we really spent a lot of time studying. We contacted other fashion weeks and we were upfront and honest and said, listen, we're new to this game. We want to do a quality show like yours. Right. Can we come and watch? Can we see what you guys do? Most shows said no. It was like, you're not stealing our thunder. Kevin and Carrie down at Philly Fashion Week, they were the only big regional show that said, yeah, come and take a look, you know, and because it's for the art. We think that it'll help out everybody. And we went down and looked at their show and, you know, we sort of haven't looked back at that point. We got it, you know, we tweaked some things. We made Atlantic City Fashion Week our own. And we were really fortunate. It has just grown so much. So if you're really willing to put the time and energy into it, it'll happen. But you got to really do your homework because, you know, just out of respect for the people who have been doing this for years, we didn't want to come in, you know, looking crazy. So it's like, no, we got to do our homework. We need to learn this craft so we could do a presentable show. So we put a lot of hours into it. And that's the thing. If you don't have a lot of money, if you can't write a check, like when Victoria's Secrets, they had their show, they had a $14 million budget. Boy, I can tell you what kind of show I could do with $14 million. But we didn't have that budget. So we had to do a lot of shows. Yeah. I'm telling you, man.
Years and years and years of shows if you had that kind of budget.
Absolutely.
Well, I think that's amazing because you actually tweeted the show to your liking It's
Yes.
very professional. And I tell you, to be honest, and I'm going to say this on camera, you're the only show I recommend right now.
Thank
Wow,
you.
thank
So
you.
that's
That's
the only show I
huge.
recommend. When someone asks me for a show,
Right.
you're the first show that comes to my mind. And I'm not
Oh,
saying
thank
that
you
because
so
I'm
much.
in this show, and I'm being
Right,
honest.
right.
If you said, even if you said to me, listen, Sophia, the next 2 seasons we're pretty full. If you want to come as press, you can come as press. I'd still be there. I wouldn't feel any kind of way about it because I understand that, sometimes you get full, whatever. If you ever said
Right.
that, I would still support because
Right.
I believe in what you guys are doing. And it's not just because I'm part of it. So
Right.
that's
Right.
important because,
Right. Right.
a
It's
person
all
should
about
really,
support.
you, exactly. And I hope that, as we had talked years ago, that some way we can make it, something we can all be
I
included in
know. I know.
some sort
Oh,
of
it happened.
council of independent fashion design or
Yep,
Right.
united,
Right.
yep.
the
Right.
things that we had talked about as far as working together, because
Right.
you guys have it at this time,
Mm-hmm.
somebody else there, and then people can go from that show to that show to
Yes.
that show to
Absolutely.
that show,
Yes.
which
Yes.
Absolutely.
I respect you guys because, like, I do Fashion on Hudson in July,
Right.
and they
Right.
called me and said, "When are you doing your show?" It's not like you just said, "Oh, I'm going to do my show." I don't care when she's doing her show. You called me,
Right.
asked me, and
Right.
that made me feel so good because I'm saying to myself, "You could have just made a date and then been like,
No.
oh, well, we don't care. I don't care when she's doing her show. We doing Atlantic City, whatever,
No.
whatever." But that really made me have even a higher respect for you guys than I already have. So I tell you, I love you guys. I love what you're
Thank you.
doing. And I thank you so much for taking the time out of your day. I saw you at the country club. So I don't want to hold you too long. I saw you at the country club. I said, "Who they at the country club? I need to be there." I love it. So I love it. And, I'll see you guys in July. And I will
Yes.
certainly follow up with the Filipino designers that have
Please.
contacted me this morning and
Please.
let you guys know. Okay.
Okay. Thank
So
you
I'm
so
going to
much.
close
Sophia,
out. Thank
you are the
you.
best. We love you
Thank
so
you
much.
so much. Anytime.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm going to close us out. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Sophia Davis, Fashion Avenue News, where only the best will do. And today we had the amazing power couple, Lamont and Gina, executive producers of Atlantic City Fashion Week. Best Fashion Week show. And we'll see you next week. All right, guys.